This car is sideways going out the hangar. I can remember a story of my father talking about how he moved, how it all happened within 3 days. And it was all because of Little Red. It just was an amazing thing. He talks about Ray Geddes and Fred Goodell for the first time that he meets these two. They're walking into LAX, and Little Red was built behind Sheets. So at that point, the sheets were down, Little Red was finished. And
so it was built in secret so people wouldn't see they were building a coupe?
Exactly. And not just a coupe, but
a super coupe.
Amazing
building
coupe.
Little Red.
You're building Little Red. The
So,
first supercharged big block GT500. That's it.
Bingo. The first big block as far as I knew. And these two guys came up and they wanted to look under the hood. And I thought the story talked about was there was hood pins in it. And he walks over to his toolbox and opens up a drawer and he pulls out these two little locks and he goes back over the hood and puts because there's no hood pins, he puts the locks in. He says, I don't think so, not today. And Fred goes, well, I'm going to drive this. And my father says, as the story goes, I don't know who you are and I don't know why you're here. So you're not touching anything. And he grabbed the keys and locked them up in his toolbox. Locked box, everything. So as Fred's now next to the step is there a phone nearby that we can I can make a call? And he says, yep, over there on the wall. So he goes over and picks up the phone, visiting on the phone for a few minutes, and takes the phone, he hands it over and points it at my father and says, this now is for you. My father goes over and gets on the phone, and of course it's his friend, it's Carroll. And Carroll says, whatever these guys want, take care of them.
Give it to them.
Let them drive it, whatever they need.
So is this the first car Fred Goodell drove when he got to Shelby, America?
As far as I know, I don't know.
Okay, so he gets back over, opens his box, takes the keys, throws them at him, and they get in the car. They light it up. Of course, they have no idea what's under the hood. They mash their foot down, and this car is sideways going out the hangar. Okay?
Literally.
Smoke bellowing off the tires, it's launched. Comes back, turns it off, says thank you, hands Walt the keys, and they go off.
They both had wet pants.
My mother calls him up and says, there's a moving truck outside the house. What's going on? And my father says, well, let me check on that. So he goes over the phone, calls up Carroll, and Carroll says, well, your paycheck's this, and this is what you're now going to get because you're moving to Michigan. And he calls my mother back and he says, we're moving. Let them in the house. And 3 days later, we were on our way via airplane to Michigan. And that's the first time he had ever talked about meeting Fred Goodell.